Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to another installment of Mental Health Bytes. I'm your host, Brandon Jones, Executive Director for Minnesota Association for Children's Mental Health, and today's episode is entitled, You Can't Pour from an Empty Cup. Caregiver Mental Health Matters Too. So welcome to the Mental Health Bytes podcast, where we break down big topics in mental health into small digestible bites. And we're going to focus in on caregiver mental health because guess what? Not only do we provide care, we also have our own things that we need to sort through, work on, and learn to cope with as we go. This episode is especially for parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, foster parents, educators, and really any loving adult that shows up in the day-to-day, the ins and outs of a young person's life. Today we're talking about something that we don't talk about enough, which is your mental health care. Because here's the truth. Nurturing caregiver mental health isn't just a nice thing to say or to have. It is truly essential in supporting children's mental health. So I want to start with the question. How are children affected by the emotional climate of the caregivers? How are children affected by the emotional climate of caregivers? Think of it this way. Kids are emotional sponges. They soak up the feelings in their environment, especially from adults who are the closest to them. If the caregiver is overwhelmed, anxious, or burnt out, that energy ripples outward. Not because anyone's doing something wrong, but because mental health can be and often is relational. It's not just the individual battle that a person has, and especially when we're talking about little ones. Children don't just learn from what we say, they learn how we feel, our tones, our stress levels, how we respond to big emotions, and even sometimes small, how we handle conflicts. All those things are important. When a caregiver is emotionally well, they're more likely to respond to their child's needs with patience, presence, and empathy. But when caregivers and parents are struggling, even the smallest challenges can feel like a crisis. We have to watch for that as best as possible. If you've ever wondered whether there's actual data behind this connection, there is. A recent study from Florida Atlantic University's Schmidt College of Medicine looked at childhood behavioral, mental, and developmental disorders in kids ages 6 to 11 years old from 2019 to 2022. Here's a few things that they found from this study. In 2019, caregivers were with just fair mental health had about 2.5 times higher odds of having children with severe behavioral issues. In 2020, that number jumped to 3.7 for caregivers with poor mental health. In 2019, caregivers with fair mental health have 4.1 times higher odds of children with severe ADD or ADHD. And in 2022, even caregivers with quote-unquote good mental health had 2.3 times higher odds of their children having severe ADD/ADHD compared to those with excellent mental health. So that's a powerful reminder that even moderate levels of stress or struggle in a caregiver can correlate with more severe challenges in their children. Now, that study didn't find a strong link between caregiver mental health and childhood autism or depression, but it does start to hint and point us in a direction that these things don't happen in a bubble or a vacuum, that there isn't a relational factor when it comes to dealing with mental and emotional health issues with children. But researchers made the important point that caregivers' well-being must be part of the equation when addressing childhood mental health. So, if caregiver mental health is so critical, why do so many caregivers put themselves last? Let's name some of the barriers. Guilt. Number one, guilt. If I take time for myself, I'm being selfish. How many of us have had those type of thoughts and feelings? Time constraints, right? There's dinner to be cooked, homework to help with, laundry to fold. I only have 24 hours a day and I'm only getting 4 to 6 hours of sleep anyway. I don't have time. How about stigma? In many communities, especially BIPOC communities, there's still stigma around seeking mental health support. That's for the weak. That's not for me. I'm not crazy. I don't need that type of help. These are many of the thoughts that run through people's minds all the time. And then also, if we're keeping it real, lack of resources. Therapy isn't always affordable or accessible, and many caregivers don't even know where to start. And then there's the emotional labor of caregiving, the invisible, never-ending work of managing not just tasks but feelings, holding it all together, carrying everyone's weight. Over time, that emotional load can lead to burnout, compassion fatigue, and even depression. So, we must move towards the benefits of taking care of you. But here's the flip side, and it's a hopeful one. When caregivers invest in their mental health, everyone wins. Emotionally healthy caregivers are better able to model coping and problem-solving skills, provide emotional safety, and respond, not just react, to their children or child's behavior. We're often told that self-care isn't selfish, but it takes it a little bit further. Self-care is survival. It's putting your oxygen mask on first so you can help people who depend on you with theirs next. So now you might be thinking, where to start? Let's keep it simple. Here are a few low-barrier, real-life ways that caregivers can support their own mental health. Number 1, talk to someone. That could be a therapist, a peer support group, or just a trusted friend. You don't have to have everything figured out, and you don't have to carry everything alone. 2, practice mindfulness and deep breathing. Just 5 minutes a day of being still and checking in with yourself can reset your nervous system, and you can definitely notice a difference over time. 3, set boundaries. Say no without guilt. Take breaks without apologizing. 4, let others help you. If someone offers to bring you a meal, just to chat, pick up your kids, fold your laundry, say yes. Just take the yes. It's okay. 5, remind yourself you matter. Your healing, your peace, your rest, it's all not an afterthought. It's the foundation. You need it. So, I want to leave you with some encouragement, because encouragement is important. We all need it. It's like water to a flower, especially to a child, but to adults, we find encouragement in some of the weirdest places. So here's one of those weird places to give you some encouragement. Keep going on this journey. If you're listening right now and feel overwhelmed, know this. You're not alone. Your struggles are real, and your story matters. And it's okay not to be okay. But please, don't stay there alone. Reach out, get support, make a plan. Even small steps can lead to big change over time. And if no one has told you today, you're doing an incredible job. Not a perfect job, but a human one. And that's enough. I want to thank you all for joining us today for the Mental Health Bytes podcast. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone that you care about, especially if they're a caregiver. It's important that we get these messages out to folks as best as possible, and we keep going and trucking along as best as we can. You can find more mental health tips and resources on our website, www.macmh.org. That's www.macmh.org. And make sure you subscribe to this podcast and check us out again in the future. And don't forget to take care of yourself because you deserve it. Peace.